Hello, everybody. This is Dwayne, and this is Live on the Mothership. Tonight we have 3 spouses of resellers that we're going to talk to and get their take on this whole reselling game. First, we have Kurt, which is Miss Tanya Sheets' husband.
AKA also, Mr. Thrifty Treasures.
I didn't want to say that. You know, that's up to you if you want to say that. We have Whitney Yarberry. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. The sweetest of the berries.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so at a Cincinnati Pickers wife, which you've probably seen her in a couple of his videos, running around in the van together. And last but not least, of course, this is my wife, Heather.
Hello.
So you guys can't pick on me tonight because I have people here that are important that might actually care. So, all right. So basically, I just wanted to get a couple people together that we always talk to other resellers, but we never really talk about or to their spouses or people that their reselling affects. So I thought this would be a good idea.
Oh, and I have a lot to say.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was going to be my little caveat is don't say anything so you have to sleep on the couch. None of you. I don't want to be in trouble for you having to sleep on the couch for anything you say.
He's talking to you, Heather.
Hey, we've got a really comfortable couch.
That's true, but I don't like to sleep on it. So.
Oh, me either.
Yeah. So, I'm sure there will be hell to pay if you guys screw this up. So don't do it. Okay. I'm just kidding. No, I know both of your spouses, and I don't think there's going to be any problems. So, going to do a quick couple shout outs of people that are here in the thread with us. Obviously, Tanya is here. We got Henry and John, of course, Lonnie and Steven Scroggins. Jason Kreider, thanks for showing up. Angie, my favorite person in Pennsylvania. JR, I'm not even going to try and say your last name, buddy, but you're here too. Thank you. Upstate Thrifter, Kathy Earls, Mr. Sadie is here. Mike, Kinetic Energy has showed up. HB Picker, All Day Deal Grabber, Swamp Picker Glenn, D Skinner, Miami Reseller, Krillin. My goodness, these are a lot of people that I haven't seen in my chat before. I've seen them in other people's chats.
Ooh, we have Down Under from
Thrifty. Where is it? Thrifty
Rich is from Australia.
Oh, very good. Very nice. Oh, yeah. Good morning from Australia. All right. Well, thanks for waking up early, I guess. So I guess I just wanted to start out first by I'll probably just pick on one person at a time, and that'll give the others a chance to know what's coming their way. So why don't we start out with Whitney?
Oh, damn it.
All right.
I know. I knew that's see.
He knows I'm nervous, so.
Yeah. Okay. Whitney's nervous, so everybody make fun of her and, make faces at her. So anyway, how long have you known your husband?
So we have known each other for 7 years now. Mm-hmm. We actually met when he was working at a used sports store, which is kind of how he got started in the buying and the reselling. I went to find a used softball glove for my company team, and we happened to go to the same high school, and he knew me because I was an athlete and clearly more popular than he was. But we went to the same high school, so we struck up a conversation, and I thought he was super good looking because I'm shallow like that. I was really attracted to him, and that's how we met. Like total serendipity, and the rest is history, as they say.
Wow. All right. So you met him before he was a reseller.
Correct.
So what did you think when he said, I'm going to do this full time?
I died a little bit.
I bet you did. Yeah.
So I'm a huge planner, and I like predictability. So this, I mean, there was a lot. He was kind of doing it part-time and had a full-time job that he hated. But yeah, when he, kind of, I don't know if it was like, I don't know how it even happened, but we just started talking about it and it just made sense. And I don't know, we just made the leap together and it has worked. I'll say that, but I was terrified. It's a scary freaking thing. Am I allowed to cuss on this, by the way?
Sure, you can cuss if you need to.
It was fucking scary. I mean, anybody who's not comfortable with like sales commissions, and there's a lot of people in that type of an industry. It's scary when you don't know when or how you're getting that next paycheck, and how you're going to plan for a family or for, bills and all that. So it's scary.
Yeah, no, I imagine stepping away from that security and basically into the unknown. I mean, you knew kind of what was going to happen, or you hoped you knew, but that's kind of a leap of faith. And but you guys did agree on it before it happened. It wasn't oh, by the way, honey, I quit my job today. And
right. No, he was miserable at the job that he had at the time. And, I was willing to do anything that was going to make him happy because, was, what he lived for at that point. And, it just made sense. It just made sense. And he's such a hard worker that if it was anybody else, I don't think that I'd be as comfortable with it, but he's somebody who gives it 150%. And, I knew he wasn't going to fail. Like, he just doesn't have it in him.
Okay, so speaking of that, the fact that he works so hard, how does that affect you guys' personal life? Because he's working, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. I mean, do you go visit him at the warehouse or how's that working now?
I think now that we have Darcy, who's 15 months old, it's hard to kind of, gosh, it's probably too much information, but like get her in and out of the car. So I don't visit the warehouse as much, like, during the week or anything like that. I probably should. Gosh, am I a terrible wife? But we make time for each other. It like I said, it's hard. Today he had a full warehouse pickup day, and then they had a live auction. So he didn't get home until about 8:15. Darcy's already in bed. I know it breaks his heart when that happens. And now I'm on a YouTube live show. So it's hard, but we find our time. We go to trivia every Thursday night, which we both look forward to. We just now, thanks to YouTube, he brought me into his Saturday garage sailing again. We're starting to get babysitters for that. So we find time together, and it makes it more bearable.
That's awesome. I mean, being able to work it out that way makes it, I'm sure it's a huge help for him. One of the things that I had a chance to talk to Deb Guitia at one time, and she said that because of what she does, her husband can do what he does. And
oh, hell yeah.
I thought of that and I thought, wow, that is so amazing, and that's kind of what made me think of this type of show is we always talk about the reseller, but we also need to talk about that support cast that lets them do what they're doing. And you're home taking care of Darcy while he's working. If you weren't there to take care of Darcy, he couldn't do that. Well, or if there's other things that, that you do to help his business.
Yeah. And let me be clear. John is the best dad and husband I could have ever asked for, to have. He changes every single diaper he possibly can. He washes her bottles, the dishes, the trash. I mean, definitely I chip in whenever I can, and I've put my stuff on holds, when it fits, because I know what his dreams are. But he pulls more than his fair share.
Okay. So what active support do you do for the business? I mean, we see you go out garage selling with him. I don't know if that's more of the personal stuff or if that goes back into the business. What do you do actively to help him, if anything?
I do nothing. Like for the business, like what do I do for the business?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that we both kind of agreed because I can have a fairly controlling personality. You know, like I said, I have an OCD personality, so I'm a planner. I could take over the business and the finances and all that and make him absolutely crazy and divorce me. But I don't do that. So I think my role, you know, I try to stay far enough away that when he has, you know, an obstacle or a situation that presents itself, I can come in with fresh eyes on it. And, you know, I'm a businesswoman and, you know, I have an 8-to-5 job and I work in learning and development. So I bring a different perspective to things. So we've done a lot of brainstorming on how to take the business to the next level and how to get there. So I think that's kind of how I contribute. You know, creative marketing efforts. I don't know. I think that's all I do. Is that good enough?
Whatever. I mean, it works for you guys. You know, I know some resellers where their spouse doesn't want to have anything to do with the reselling. That's their thing. So, you know, and that's perfectly fine if it works. You know, there's no wrong answer here. I was just curious on, you know, what your impact is. Okay, so here's the hard question.
Uh-oh.
What do you hate most about his job?
You okay?
Oh my gosh. I don't think I'm allowed to say what I hate. So I love his customers.
Mm-hmm.
I love the business. John is a nice guy, and I think sometimes he is not as direct with his customers as he could be. So I hate when they take advantage of him. When they, you know, I don't know, he has very clear pickup days, which are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And when people take advantage of his kindness and show up at any freaking, you know, point of the day and, you know, oh, hey, I'm going to stop in and we're going to talk about, you know, the weather. Like, no, he has a job. He has a business he's running, and that's what pays our bills. And that pisses me off. But, you know, so I think people who kind of, you know, don't know where the boundaries are, I think that bothers me the most because I know John's never going to stand up and say something about it.
And that's back to your OCD controlling personality.
Oh, gosh, geez. Dwayne's my therapist tonight. I owe him like $100 at this point. Yes. Dwayne.
Anyway, okay. All right, so we're going to let you off the hook for a bit, and we'll go to Kurt.
Okay.
All right, Kurt. So you heard some of these questions, so hopefully you've been thinking.
I've been thinking.
Right, actually, wait, before you say anything, I think we met our wives the same way. I believe I heard that.
Okay. So it was the day of my graduation from college. I had a choice. My fraternity brother was having his bachelor party that same night I graduated. So I had to make a decision. Was I going to stay with all the parties going on that night for graduation, or was I going to go to my real close friend of fraternity brother's bachelor party? Well, I made the choice to go to the bachelor party. I've done enough. I did enough partying all the years I was there. So this was a bachelorette party, and I didn't meet her when we first all met together early that evening. We all went our separate ways to different locations, and we all met back up later on that night. Well, I was sitting at a table playing poker with some of my friends. A couple of them I hadn't seen in a while. And next thing I know, I have a beer in front of me, and somebody comes along and just knocks the beer right into my lap. Now, I'm wearing my khakis, my khaki pants, so it just naturally shows all up just right on my crotch area. So, so I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And I looked up and I kind of like, did that just happen? And it was Tanya standing there. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And anyway, needless to say, she says, well, I'll take care of that. And I said, okay. She said, come back to my room. And I said, your room? Well, this is, you live here? She goes, yeah, it's my roommate's room. So my my good buddy's bachelor party, his brother, we were at his house, and she lived there with them, with her good friend. Anyway, long story short, we went back to her room. And,
okay, wait. We don't want to go too much further.
Yeah. Anyway, needless to say, my pants got dried some way. And so that's how we met. And actually, I didn't talk to her for a couple weeks after that. And, I just graduated college. I ran into her. And long story short, ended up calling her. And the rest is history.
Very good. Wow,
yeah.
That was I met my wife at a bachelor party as well. My brother's bachelor party is the first time we met. So, and that's what I had heard. I didn't hear the whole story quite that in depth, but that's pretty cool.
Yep. So it's it was the best thing that ever could happen. I made a decision to go to the party that night, and if that wouldn't happen, I would have never met her. So that was about 20 years ago. And we've been married now for 18 years.
Wow. Okay. And John wants to know, how long after the first incident did you guys get together?
Gosh, it was a little over two weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. She basically said, she didn't think I was going to call her back. And I just, I ended up calling her back, and we went out a few times after that and continued dating.
So did you steer clear of any liquids with her for a while?
Yeah, whatever. But what I met Tanya, and there was something about her I did not know. And that's why it made it a little more special how it all came about. But Tanya at the time, she was very ill, like very, very, very ill. And, I knew at that time that she was the one, and I was going to stay with her no matter what. In fact, a year later, she got put on the transplant list for a liver. So, anyway, I knew at that time that she was the one, and we went through a lot of difficult times, and I knew that was the one who I wanted to marry, and I asked her, and
she even said yes.
She said yes, she did.
That's awesome.
So,
well, very cool. That's great. You guys have been together for 20 years.
20 years, yeah. So thereafter her transplant, she was looking for stuff to do. She wasn't working at the time, and so she started eBay. This was, gosh, I guess 17 years ago. So 2000 is when she started eBay, and she was getting little trinkets, glass trinkets at the dollar store and reselling them. And I was like, wow, okay, this is pretty interesting. And that was in the infancy of eBay. And she's doing really well. And she's expanded since then. And I've been truly amazed at what she's done.
Wow, that is amazing. And I know just a smidgen of what Tanya does. I mean, I know that she's a full-time reseller, a full-time mom to 2 kids or 3?
Two. A 14-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah. So, I mean, just that in and of itself is rather amazing to me, just to juggle that many things and be successful at all. It's and she raises butterflies. I know that too.
She does do butterflies. We have some that are about to come out, and but being the mom and keeping the house tidy and doing all she does and doing full-time reselling, it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I envy you and her. So, let's see. What was my next question, Whitney? What did I ask next? She can't remember.
Sorry,
I can't either.
I muted myself. I think you oh shit. I don't know. You grilled me.
How I help out Tanya?
Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go.
So where I work across the street is a FedEx. So every so often I will help out, take packages to FedEx. I'll help take packages to the post office, help carry packages to the car, get her ready for her day to take them where they need to go. Not so much packing. She's an expert at that. I've tried that. I've failed miserably trying to do that. But I did give her some advice recently on, she had some challenges with cookie jars. She had shipped 2 cookie jars in a row, and they had both arrived to the buyer broken. And so I just kind of made my suggestions, you know, from a different perspective. Hey, why don't you try this way? And I guess her last one that she sent arrived safely. She didn't say anything, so all is well.
Excellent.
So help with that. You know, just give my you know, sometimes when you're inside the frame, you can't see the picture sometimes. So I'm that outside perspective that gives her feedback on things and suggestions, and maybe a way that I would try it. And but believe me, she has plenty of experience, and she's done her fair share of doing this. So, but anyway, I'd give my perspective on things and help in little things here and there.
That's excellent. So, again, what's the thing you hate the most about her reselling?
No hate. No, hate's a strong word. I don't. You know, I don't like to hear when people like she had a situation today where somebody said something wasn't accurately described, and you know, and I said, well, I looked at the description and I interpreted that's how it was described. And I hate when she gets nice big sales and, you know, she has to refund the money, and that's about the extent of the hate. I hate that part of it.
Can I chime in?
Yes.
I suppose. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, but that goes to the same point. It's like, I feel like, you know, Tanya and John and probably you yourself, it's like you're kind of a slave to the platform, especially with eBay. I know Tanya does that. It's like, and regardless of what platform you use, you know, you're a slave to the customer, and you know, it's your name behind it 100%. So you have to make them happy, and so you have no room to tell them like, no, I described that 100% clear.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you back your money. Like they just can't do that. And Tanya's a nice person. Dwayne, you're probably nice. I don't know. So yeah, it's frustrating to watch that happen. I'm glad I'm not the only one with that.
And she's I know she's, I don't say one, but she's numerous times she's, to whoever the platform was, eBay or whoever it was, she said, hey, this is not fair. This is the way it was actually done. And, you know, they sided on her. You know, Amazon is always going to be customer. They're always going to be they're always going to be on the customer side. So even though technically the sellers are the customers too, but, you know, but anyway.
Sure. And like you said, I mean, our job, all of our jobs is customer service, whether, you know, whatever we sell, the customer's not always right, but the customer's always the customer. So
yeah,
you've got to make it right with them, because they're, you know, them bad mouthing you or giving you bad feedback or, you know, telling other people is bad publicity. And that, I mean, that's our job. We got to take that. So people in the chat want to know, how do you both, and you guys can take turns on this, feel about the fact that you're on the show being broadcast across the nation because of your spouses?
I feel like your wife needs to answer that one.
You'll get there. We'll get to her.
We have been monopolizing this past 25 minutes. I want to hear from her.
No. What? No. It's just kidding. So I know you're do you do other YouTube stuff, or is this kind of your debut?
This is not my debut. I was on a Sunday 3 or 4 weeks ago. We went somewhere we found a little resale shop off the beaten path, and I was on there for a short period of time. I think that was YouTube. I can't remember. You have to ask Thrifty Treasures on that one. But yeah, but this is really my, live. It's my debut.
And I know Whitney's made a cameo in a couple of videos with John, but then, or live videos, but you've also been on a couple of yard sale haul videos, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
this
I've been on a
is
couple.
your first whole hour, right? Of just being right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stressing you out, making you nervous. Have some more wine.
I just refilled.
Okay, very good. All right, so I guess we should talk to my wife now. Man, do I really want to open this can?
Do it.
All right, so how did we meet?
I wanted to meet you. That's why I went to the bachelor party.
So yeah, because what you had heard about me through what she was your
My coworker, your soon-to-be sister-in-law.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
chicka, wow, wow.
And what was the first thing? What was the first thing you thought of when you saw me?
As you already know, I took one look at Dwayne and thought, man, he needs a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's real.
He had a haircut and his beard trimmed, and well, the clothing is a work in progress.
Right, and what did I think of you?
And you didn't like what I was wearing. You thought it was ugly.
I said, man, them are some ugly ass shorts.
Yeah.
You know, love at first sight, right there.
Was there
Across the
fire?
table at a
Yeah.
Was there fireball involved?
no,
Dwayne
well,
tonight.
not that night. There had been alcohol, but not fireball.
Actually, so Dwayne had told me I had gotten to know him a little bit. He said something about that sometimes he's shy when he's first around people. I'm like, no, you're not. And my sister, so I mentioned it to my sister. I said, Dwayne says he's kind of shy around people at first. And she's like, he is. And I'm like, but he wasn't shy when we first met. And then he reminded me that he was around his brother and friends and had had several beers. And because he wasn't shy at all. But so yeah, we met, we hit it off that night, and then we saw each other socially, with like at the wedding, and he actually asked me to marry him after the wedding.
Oh.
Wait, though. You got to go back and tell the real truth. Why did I ask you?
We were taking presents. We went over to his brother's house after the wedding because we all loaded up cars full of presents. So we were all taking presents inside, and they were unwrapping gifts and opening up cards, and they got a bunch of money and all these, really great gifts. And so he asked if I would marry him so that he could get treasures and treasures. Yeah. And I thought there's no right way to answer that, so I just laughed. Because, and then we never actually dated. We just started hanging out together. And it really, probably a big thing with my son was 3 at the time. And it was complicated at times. It wasn't always easy, but we got through it. And we got through the next 15 years of raising my son, in fact, and as well as having 2 more kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, what is
He's
it?
diverting.
What?
He's diverting.
I'm not diverting. No, if you want to continue, that's fine.
I want to hear all the dirt that Heather has on you.
Well, you didn't tell any dirt on John. I mean, come on, fair trade.
Let's
go.
There's no dirt on Dwayne.
Oh my goodness, not that she's willing to say.
They're really he's a very genuine, honest, hardworking person, and that's why I married him. That was one of the things I noticed from the very beginning, is that he was just going to say what he was thinking and no game plan. And never once have I questioned his honesty or his ethics. And so that's how I knew. I'm like, okay, he's a straight shooter. I like that.
Lonnie wants to know, what is your opinion of the reseller six-pack show?
A lot of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Bartender
Bartender.
here too. Yeah, you're the bartender. That's right.
Now, as you know,
we're feeding the pina coladas, right?
Yes.
Between Dwayne's Marine training and redheads really can handle more alcohol. So Dwayne really doesn't drink that often anymore. That was before we met, when he was in the military. He's got lots of drinking stories, but when we had kids, I'm like, yeah, no, there's no room for the drinking. But as you can see, when he does drink, he can outdrink anyone.
Ooh, don't throw that out there. You're talking to an awful lot of people.
Right?
And the thing is, and I very rarely drink. I have one or two drinks seasonally, maybe. So, but no, the six-pack, it was entertaining. And you definitely have to be a reseller to get what you guys are talking about, or at least have a front row seat to the reselling to get what you guys were talking about. So you guys are your own little nerdy culture.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so here's a good question. Okay, Whitney, in the chat, somebody asked, can Whitney interview Heather?
Oh,
so that way I'm not biasing the answers. So you go ahead and ask my wife questions about
okay,
preferably reselling. This is a reseller show.
I mean,
but go ahead.
I heard the reseller six-pack on Sunday, and there was very little reseller talk. There's a lot of shenanigans.
Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna just ignore the fact that you said that. Gosh, I don't know. I know very little about you guys, so.
Well, here's your chance.
I know. Okay, wait. So Heather.
Yes.
Let me think about this. Okay. Again, I don't know anything about you guys. So, you guys you sell through eBay, I'm guessing?
Yes, we sell through eBay.
Okay. So does it take over your home?
So we actually, we're down a kid because, the oldest one, he moved out actually a while ago. And we're in the biggest house we've lived in. And so it's really nice. And the only thing is as we were talking about before the show started, is come winter, I'd really like a spot in the garage. And it's full of scrap, and we're in the middle of moving scrap from storage unit into the garage, so that'll save money. And as long as everything's inventoried, accounted for, as long as it's not just piling up growing dust, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're a better woman than I am. I told him to get a warehouse, I don't know, within 6 months. I was like, I can't deal with this.
Well, when we started, we were living in a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And we were piled on top. We had resale stuff. We had storage unit stuff. We had scrap stuff, all packed in this little metal box, as well as our 2 kids and 3 cats. And so, being here at the house, we have a lot more space. So that's nice. And I just want to see that things are moving. I worked a lot of years in retail. Mm-hmm. And so if things aren't moving, I'm like, okay, time to get this out of there.
Exactly.
It's wasted money, taking up space on the shelf.
I don't know if I have any other questions, though.
Or not make any money just sitting there.
No.
Right. Okay.
Collecting dust.
There's a question for Kurt.
Yep.
In the chat. Is Tanya against buying something for resale? Where you just said, "Oh no, that's a bad idea."
Question, not advised not to. Like I saw some. Saw these hats she bought the other day. I thought about that, but then I thought about it. Somebody said, "Oh, those might be from the Derby or something like that." I was like thinking, okay, maybe there's some value in those things, but no, and I don't. You don't buy that kind of thing, but like, why are you buying that? And I can't believe the flip flops. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that story about her flip flop she bought. She bought them for like $1 at some sale. And they were just nasty old looking flip flops. And I swear the person paid over $100 for them. And these flip flops must have been 20, 25 years old.
Yeah, they were the rainbow ones, right? Where they had the different colors.
I couldn't, something like that. But they were just nasty, grungy looking. And I said, is somebody, she says, you'll never guess what the bid's up to on this. And I go, what? And she told me, and I about flipped over. I said, what? People actually buy that kind of stuff? So I guess there's a foot for every shoe out there, and but no advice against buying anything. I just can't believe people buy some of the things they buy online. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so I'm going to take back over. Is that okay, Whitney? Is that cool?
Go for it. I have no
just
questions.
checking.
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to step on anybody. So, dear, what do you do in our business?
I have folded over 500 shirts.
Absolutely.
That's a lot. I do quality control. And it's amazing how those stains and holes and tears can slip past you in the shirts. Like, between picking it out of the store and steaming it, taking pictures of it, and then I'll be folding it, and then I'll have it laying out flat for the first time on the table and rolling over it with the tape roller. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, we're not selling this. And I've gotten much pickier over the years. I've gotten way, way pickier. And then lately I've been working on a few things. I've been collecting stuff for a while, and so I finally have been taking pictures and coming up with ideas for description. And but as far as the final putting it online, Dwayne still does that. I'm a little nervous about. Well, he's the one that's put so much time into getting his 4-star rating. Is that what it is? 4-star?
I don't know.
Rating, whatever, and things looking nice. So but I'm slowly learning more and more. And like today I was doing some research. I came upon a big old pile of junk jewelry that I was doing some research on, seeing if any of it's worth anything. And then as far as you're talking about customers saying rude things, Dwayne doesn't take things personally. That's one of his really strong, like, there's nothing that anybody can say that's gonna bother him. He just, is in the professional reseller mode when, dealing with customers on eBay. So even if they say rude things to him, it doesn't matter. And I'm the one that I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so ridiculous, and get a laugh out of how emotional people can become over things that require absolutely no emotion whatsoever. It's just business. And
I want to hire Heather as my new therapist.
Wait a minute! Come on, you gave me $100 for what?
You're fired.
Well,
You're fired.
But
that's all right. Same household.
But no, I think a lot of that, with having worked retail myself, when I would be, at work and people would come scream at me, and it's like, yeah, that's nice. Whatever. You're still not getting your way.
Yeah, it can be an emotional place, but if you just treat it like a business and realize that, tempers are going to flare. People are going to say things that, you probably won't like, but all in all, like we were saying earlier, the customer service is the important part, and making the customer happy most of the time can be accomplished, amicably. Once in a while, there's some people you just can't help. So, they're gonna hate you and scam you or whatever. But luckily, I haven't had a whole lot of those. So that's good for us. But for the most part, if you just treat people nicely, I mean, like I said, some people can get upset over a $8 thing you sold them and freak out and want to sue you and everything. And I'm thinking, it's $8, keep it. I don't need this. This is way too much hassle for $8, or $10 or $20. I mean, I'm sure if it was a couple thousand, then there might be some issues, but for the most part, we sell things around the $20 to $30 range. So it really isn't that worth getting that upset about. So, let's see. Dwayne, I get a keg cooler. Oh, great. I'm reading. Sorry.
Wait.
In the chat, if you guys have any questions for any of the three, just preface them with question marks and then just write who you were asking so I can relay it. My wife doesn't have access to the chat. So what was that, Whitney?
Oh, well, so Garage Flips, Mr. Lonnie said, has anyone had their, I don't know what significant other get trolled on YouTube and wanted to step in and kick some ass? Okay, maybe I misread that. Let me just say, I have a strong feeling about people who just go in and dislike videos for no reason.
Haters. Yeah, they're jealous. That's all.
I get haters gonna hate. Yeah. But it just amazes me that people have nothing better to do with their life than to just go in and dislike things.
All right, I'll stop. Sorry, John.
But yeah, I don't know. This whole YouTube thing, this is new. This is new for me. This is new for us, I guess. John's a pro at it, but I'm still learning, and it annoys me.
Well, and one of the things I'm sure you're starting to see is all the drama that can wrap up in any community. But
oh my gosh, yes,
it's amazing. Some of the stuff that happens here. I think, are we still in junior high?
Yeah,
I mean, really?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? This is over that. So this person and this person and they like this person, so that now I can't like you.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, bye. I don't have time for that. So, for the most part, this is, everybody here, it's a business. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be that kind of stuff that goes through, but to get sucked up into it, I think it's just bad for your business, anybody's business, on top of being very childish, so.
Yeah.
So when everybody gets, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think probably the biggest thing, not even from your own personal experience yet, but from watching other people, is how when you're in front of the camera and you might just say something in passing, not give any thought to it, and somebody may put more into it. And that can happen in conversation on any basis, but since there are so many people involved, it's amazing how a single comment, it's like wildfire.
Right. Well, and a lot of times that the people that are watching or seeing the chats or the comments, they can't tell the emotion behind it. Just like when you type a scathing email and then you have somebody else read it and they're like, oh, well, that's whatever. But you put your emotion into it, but they can't see that. So, and I think that happens a lot where I'll say something and somebody else will read it and go, man, that was rude. And I'm like, really? I didn't mean it rude. It's just a wording issue. And that always happens on nonverbal communication. It's just one of those things.
Or sarcasm, when you're comfortable with people and there's a lot of sarcasm and other people don't get that there's no hard feelings going on. And it's like, no, everything's cool. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Keep walking.
Move along.
I've refilled again.
And
Cool.
oh, hey,
Are you sure you're not going to be on the reseller 6-pack? I mean, you
guys,
you're drinking pretty good.
I'm on the Wine Wednesday with
Wine Wednesday.
wives and a husband.
I can now see Whitney.
Yay! Hi,
Hello.
Technical difficulties up until now.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, does anybody have any questions for these spouses?
I would say because just earlier today, this kind of thing's starting to happen more and more, where people will ask me questions about resale, and I'm finding as time goes by, the more answers I have. Like I had a friend say, "Hey, you want to help me take pictures?" And we have KSL, which is our big reselling in Utah, just for local. And so I'm like, well, what do you want to sell on? And should we get lighting set up? And just what I felt was some basic questions. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, let's start, more basic. And I hadn't even realized that my thought process was already like 5-10 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Dwayne and I talk about reselling a lot.
That was a great point. As I was going to ask the others, how is his reselling or her reselling affected the way you see things? Have you been able to talk more intelligently about different aspects of the business just from osmosis? Being in the same room or listening to Tanya or John talk about it. That you. Because see, one thing that Heather says is she always says she doesn't know anything about reselling, but then when somebody asks her a question, she can spout it out, and she's like, oh, maybe I do know something, but she doesn't realize she knows it until somebody asks. How's that, Kurt? Has that come up?
Well, not so much that, but what I've noticed, Tanya's taken on so many things lately. And it was an uncomfortable for her to do a lot of things, to do YouTube. I'm very proud of her for that. I mean, she is like, when she first started where she is today, it's like night and day. Having her own antique booth, doing Amazon, doing merch, doing eBay. I mean, she is really, when she first started, it was eBay for forever. And now she's just expanded out and grown so much. And I've learned to take on more challenges, uncomfortable situations, to take on more things. So I learned that from her, to go ahead and, sometimes you just got to do it. It may be very uncomfortable. You may feel like you don't know what you're doing, but you just got to dive in sometimes and do it. And so I learned that from her.
That's excellent. What about you, Whitney? Other than you're on number 6,
that's being conservative. I started when Darcy went to bed. So what have I learned?
Just picked up over time, just being around, the business.
No, I've picked up a lot. I mean, similar to what you said, you don't realize the kind of stuff that you pick up on, and then all of a sudden you have knowledge about. I don't know. For us, it's Reds memorabilia. So, because it's a hot item for us. So it's like, all of a sudden I know stuff about Reds memorabilia that nobody else in my office knows about. And I look like a genius. So I'll take it, whatever. But yeah, I'm not as good as him, but I've definitely picked up on quite a few things.
So is Pete Rose stuff still hot? No.
I don't know. I think it is, because correct me if I'm wrong, babe. Is Pete Rose he has a big event coming up.
He's inducted into the Reds Hall.
Yeah, he's inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame coming up here soon. So I would say there's still a market for that kind of stuff.
Wow. So just now being inducted. So probably the next step is maybe the Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean,
they've been
am I allowed to say?
So many years. Go ahead.
Am I allowed to say? I don't know. He's kind of a sleazeball. I appreciate his contribution to the Reds and his athleticism, but he's kind of
other than yeah, he is.
His personal life kind of messed him up pretty bad.
Oh yeah. He he did his own thing. So
absolutely.
yeah.
All right. So Brian, the Oakbook Pricker, has a great question, and we'll ask Whitney first on this one. How do you get your spouse to shut down and not focus on the business?
I don't.
You've given up.
I really don't. I've given up. It's always going to be on his mind. It's his business. I know that this is a temporary thing, though. I mean, he's had his online auction site for 2 years. Did we say? Yeah, it feels like way longer than 2 years. I know that this is a temporary hardship, as far as like it's always on his mind. It's always what he has to do. Eventually, it'll get to the point where there's management that comes into it. But yeah, I've given up. He's always thinking about it. It doesn't matter if he puts his phone down. I mean, his mind is on it. But that's just the type of person he is, and why I love him, because he's just really dedicated to it.
What about you, dear? Oh, that's Heather.
Well, you divide your time between your day job and reselling. But then the reselling stuff doesn't stress you out. Sometimes doing the shows can get you thinking over, be occupying your thoughts, because you want to have your plan together for your show.
Sure.
But
what about you, Kurt?
When Tanya first started, she was watching like one show a week, and it's got up to like 4, 5 shows a week. And if she's listening to good content out there, I'm all for it. If she picks up something, and so I mean, sometimes it can stretch a little. Like the other night, it was 2.5 hours, and it's like, okay.
Wait. Are we talking about YouTube, or are we talking about reselling?
Either or.
Yeah, it all goes hand in hand somehow. It all goes together. So
I called John out the other day when we were in the van. I think we were garage sailing, and he started talking, and I was like, "Are you talking to me, or are you talking to YouTube?" because we're not recording. So let's just be clear. YouTube is an added factor.
This is true. Yes.
Tanya starts out real early in the morning. She'll get up and do her things and respond to emails and do what she needs to do. And but she pretty much shuts down pretty early in the evening. So I mean, we have 2 kids, and they're in school. They're out of school now, but she's pretty well at being organized on what she does throughout the day, and she has a set. I do this day, but there's a lot of videos that she watches, and that does take up a lot of time.
So what I'm hearing from both of you is that it's not the reselling part; it's more the YouTube part that's becoming more of a burden.
So because that would be the social aspect, perhaps.
Yeah, no, I'm never gonna knock him for the whole YouTube thing. Like everybody, like whether if you're reselling, you're kind of on an island. So I understand the attraction to the group of people who are doing what you're doing. So I'm never gonna knock him for that. It definitely is the business of reselling is more than YouTube. He does it for fun. He even says that like he'll make sure it's motivated him, because he'll make a list and say, I'm not going to start my YouTube video until I get X, Y, and Z done. So it's like a motivator to get him through his work. To get to the
little
fun.
carrot that he has to chase after. Okay, if I get my chores done, I can do this.
Exactly. It's a self-induced carrot. That's exactly what it is.
All right. So any questions in the chat? You guys have been mighty quiet on the questions, just a couple. I thought you'd have a whole bunch. I mean, they're here. They're waiting to ask the dirt questions. Let's hear them.
I will spill the dirt as long as you probe.
Well, it is the mothership, so you know.
I couldn't resist the pun.
So, have any questions for each other? I mean, you know, Kurt, do you have a question for Whitney or Heather? Or I mean, go right ahead.
I guess what is your most proud sell? I mean, that you've seen your spouse make, or you're like, wow, that's really amazing kind of deal?
Okay, but because I'm really quick, this is my OCD, my brain is crazy. Remind me to tell you how to describe the reselling business. Okay, so what was I most proud of with his sale? Oh my gosh. Wait, what? I don't remember that
Quiet,
one.
man. No coaching.
Oh, sorry, I was
Just kidding.
I would say there was a while ago where he bought like this some kind of a like Game Boy type of, what was it called? At least tell me what it's called. The Game Boy that you bought for $1 and you sold for like, it was like an old, I don't know, it was one of the original like Game Boy things.
Okay.
Yeah, and he bought it for like $1, and it's always great when you buy something for $1 and you flip it and you get like $250. Like that's huge. Like that's such a good feeling.
I wouldn't know anything about that. Thanks.
Yes, you would. You gotta be kidding me.
I've never flipped anything that I got for $1 for $250.
Really? Okay, well that just means you're due, and you're about to hit like 3 or 4 of them. So,
all right, good.
but yeah, it was some kind of like original Game Boy type of thing, and maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it wasn't $200; it was like 100 or something. But basically, regardless of the ratio, if you get something at $1 and it goes like super high, it just feels good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so sorry, my wine brain is kicking in. But one thing that I was going to mention, and I know we're like almost at the end of our time. Are you guys strict on your time? I don't know. John goes over by like an hour and a half, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll finally come to bed." Okay. So I find it really hard, and I would like for you guys to chime in on this. When people ask me at work, because I work at like a traditional office, like, how do you talk about what your spouse does? Because I've been like, well, they're a picker, they resell, they buy and resell full time. Like there's kind of this, you know, and I don't mean to offend anybody who does this, who's watching, but there's kind of a connotation there, and it's hard to validate it in the traditional corporate world. So I've struggled sometimes with validating John's business and overcompensating and all that kind of stuff. So what do you guys think about that? How do you talk about your spouse's business and all that?
Well, what the reselling is way easier to explain than what Dwayne does for his full-time job. So I just started telling everyone that Dwayne's a hitman. Yeah, it's way easier than trying to explain something that I don't fully understand myself, which is the whole science of measurement, and which is what he does for his 40 hours a week. But probably when it comes to the reselling, people are like, so does he actually sell things? And it's like, yeah, he puts it online, he sells it, he packages it up and takes it to the post office like every day. And I think a lot of people think that reseller is just another term for hoarder.
Yep.
But when you're getting those items out the door, no, you're not. It's an actual real business. And so when I tell people, well, it's for Dwayne, it's his hobby that actually makes money.
Absolutely.
So.
What about you, Kurt?
I don't have a problem. In fact, Tanya probably thinks I tell too many people, but I don't have a problem telling people what she does. I think it's exciting. People engage in the conversation when I say, "Oh, she does eBay, she does Amazon." "Oh, wow, what does she sell?" That's always the first thing they ask. So, hey, if I can provide some people for her, telling her about her antique booth. I mean, that's local. You know, a lot of her buyers are not local, but her antique booth, these are local people. They can go out there and visit, and it creates an opportunity for her, creates a potential customer that could be an advocate of her business that can tell other people, "Oh, wow, you know, you got to go check out her antique booth," or engage in her other platforms she sells on eBay and things like that. So I never have a problem saying what she does. What I was most proud about Tanya, I said the flip-flop things, but she bought years ago, she came across these boxes and boxes of martial arts books and things. And I'm talking about these were 70, 80 years old. And I think she's almost sold every one of them. It's taken her about 4 years, but the overall, what she spent on that haul on those books over the 4 years has been the most unbelievable amount of money I've ever seen in my life. And I mean, for picking up something at a garage sale. And she'll attest to how much she's made over the time. I don't remember what she made, but that was the most proud thing ever. And when I think of that, I've started getting a little more involved. I'll go with her to a resale shop every once in a while, and I've had some successes recently with a few things, and that inspires me to get involved too. And there's nothing more exciting than like Whitney said, picking up something for $1 and selling it for $250.
Yeah.
So I get excited about that too when I have those opportunities. But that's my biggest thing that I'm proud of her. I mean, when she did that, I said, "Wow, okay, she knows what she's doing." So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So wait. So Kurt, so are you saying?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't get to talk to reseller spouses very often, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna take advantage of this.
Okay.
So wait, so when somebody asks you like, "Oh, what does Tanya do?" Do you just leave it at like, "Oh, she sells on eBay and Craigslist"? You don't kind of put a label on it, because that's where I get tripped up. Like, I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't know like the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, because trust me, I mean, John is awesome. What he does is awesome, but I don't know what to call it. So like, what do you say to spark that? Like, "Oh, you know, I've got stuff that she can sell." Like, what do you call it?
Jack of all trades. I don't know. She can do anything. I mean, she can. I mean, it's like I said, an antique booth, Amazon, eBay, merch. I mean, she's involved in everything. So,
Yeah.
You know, I guess it depends who I'm talking to during the day. If I have certain conversations, I go, "Oh yeah, my wife does that," and believe it or not, you'll strike up a conversation, and they don't question, "Oh, she does that." You know, they say, "Oh, that's exciting." They think it's exciting. So, because I'll tell them the success stories she's had of picking up something for a quarter and selling it for $50, a book. You know, finding a book somewhere, and people go, "Really? You can do that?" And I said, "Yeah, my wife's been doing it forever." So I don't really, to answer your question, I don't have a name for it. She's a reseller. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I say. We have a reselling side business.
See, and I just say like, "Oh, my husband has a online auction site," and then it just like sparks questions. So I didn't know if there was like I don't know, a common term that the community uses that I'm not using. So I'll stick with what I got. But
no, you know, I think that's actually a good question, because a lot of people call themselves different. You know, some people call themselves pickers, and some people call themselves resellers, and some people call themselves marketers. And I mean, it really you have to tailor it to whoever you're talking to, like Kurt said, but you also have to tailor it to what your spouse does, you know, what they think is it just a hobby where they go digging through attics, or is it, you know, going out and buying bulk stuff, you know, as a reseller. So yeah, I mean, that the name changes with the situation. I've got a couple of questions here that people have asked. So Do you guys combine picking with vacations?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. We garage sale and we pick anywhere we go. John has this like once again a self-induced carrot where he wants to find cool stuff and ship it on vacation. So he'll find it and he'll like sell it and ship it while we're wherever we are. And to him, that is like the biggest thing. And that finances a lot of our escapades, I guess.
Excellent. What about you, Kurt?
No. I mean, we've done a couple of things. Not any big trips. I mean, we're going to Chicago this weekend. I mean, we're kind of making a little vacation out of it. So,
wait, you're invited?
Yes, I was invited. Yes.
Were you not invited, Whitney? Is that what you're trying to get at?
I was not invited to the reseller.
I see. I saw that. See, you hear John in the background pleading his case. Come on, please! I invited you! Oh, you got muted. Anyway, okay, so
we're fine.
No, but as the kids get older, I mean, yes, we will be doing more things, but it's hard when you have younger kids to, you're going to be gone for a while, and kids don't do well together on vacations. We haven't found a good opportunity for them to go on a vacation yet. They need to be a little bit older.
I know. So. We have the same problem. We've been threatening to take our kids on vacation since they were little, and they're like 19 and 17, and we're still not taking them.
Yeah.
They just don't do well in the car together.
No,
it would not be a vacation if they're in the car at the same time.
Yeah.
So. Okay, some more questions. Do you guys go thrifting together? Kurt, you said you started recently going out to thrift stores occasionally, but you're not much of a sourcer with her?
Well, Tanya knows this. I kind of have a thing with walking into the Goodwills and the smell. It just kind of, I'm sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine.
But I'll go in there with her. And like I said, it's fun to find things, and, it's amazing what you can come across and what you can see and what people, donate. And, but the smell thing is, going into the different stores, Goodwills, they all smell the same. So I don't know if they have this special perfume they use or something like that.
I think they wash all their clothes with the same detergent.
It's a spray. It's like an antiseptic spray that just gets put on everything.
Yeah.
It's the thrift spray. Let's just spray our little thrift perfume around.
But,
what about you, Whitney?
What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the wine's getting to you. No, I'm just kidding.
He was yelling
you go with.
I'm turning his people against
tell
him.
John to go to his other room.
Did you hear that?
It was. Do you go thrifting together? Which we've seen a couple of things.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I'll be honest. So that first, my YouTube debut was the first time I've been garage sailing probably since we've had Darcy. So probably the first time in a year. So everybody was talking about how I was all smiley. Well, that was because I haven't been out of the house in a year. It's been like, it's been a year since I've been able to garage sale. We're about to move into our new house, and I just want to find some cool stuff for our new house. So it was exciting. It was really exciting to get out there. I found the Ouija board. Let's just be clear. This most recent video that we found, I found a 1915, I think it was, original Ouija board.
Wow.
Probably one of the coolest things I've ever found.
Yeah,
spooky.
It was really cool. And the little turner, like the thing that moves across the board, had the box with it, like the text that was on top of it was so cool. Like if I could, I would keep that, but I have no use for it. But yeah, so I like to go. I think that just based off of our circumstances and our lifestyle, like it's hard to, but maybe because of YouTube and if people actually like seeing me on the videos, he'll bring me back. I think that's the only thing I have going for me right now.
Only if you can bring him subs and views.
if I can bring him subs, then I can come back.
All right. Well, that's cool. All right, and next question is, how many and what had that you've kept that your spouse is?
I've kept almost everything.
So anything he buys, you keep, huh?
Only like if it has a practical use in our house, like I'll find a reason to keep it. I'm terrible. Like okay, so really quick, sorry. Again, the wine has gotten to me, but so John has an online auction site. All of you probably know that by now. So I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like, so he has items that he lists every week, and people will talk to me like, I have people at work who have become loyal customers to John, friends, family. They're like, "Oh, did you see this?" And I'm like, "No," because if I go on this site, then I want to keep everything.
So he purposely doesn't show you things so he can sell them.
Exactly. So like I try to stay hands off, because if it was up to me, I would keep all the cool shit that he finds. So I just try to stay away as much as possible.
And what about you, Kurt? Has she bought a lot of things that you've kept?
No, I can't think of anything. I'm trying to think of something she's bought. She bought these real cool, I'm looking at it right now, Ducks Unlimited frame pictures that I thought were pretty cool. I thought they were going to be worth a lot of money. They were signed and everything. But anyway, there's a couple of things she's brought home, some art, and I thought was pretty neat. And but most of the things, I just tell her, hey, if it's sitting here and you ain't listening, you're not making any money. You're just throwing your money away. So you got to get it out of here. I guess they're like commodities. I mean, they're always going up and down in prices. So got to get out of here. So
what about you, Dare?
Well, the teddy bears, remember when you first brought those home and you said I couldn't keep any of them? And they were sitting at the storage unit forever. And we dug them out, and I'm the one who researched them and took pictures of them.
Correct. They're Boyd's bears.
And they're waiting to be put online.
I know. She's waiting on me. I know.
But I had prided myself as a minimalist, and in fact, when Dwayne and I met, I didn't even have a bed. I had a mattress, a car that barely worked. And I lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment. My son got the bedroom. I got the front room. And so I'm one more for let's hurry, push it out the door. I don't want to hang on to it.
Right. It's true. She is much more of a minimalist, and if there's too much stuff, she gets antsy and just wants to throw everything away.
Okay, 100% Heather, I support you.
Hey. Yeah, it's like Mike says, come to Dwayne's show as a couple and leave in a divorce.
And what I saw a question earlier, as you guys saw, my laptop froze up on me. My laptop's got Tourette's. But did we talk about thrifting together? Because that's a big thing that Dwayne and I do together.
We did, but you weren't involved, so you go ahead and answer it.
Yeah, we made it out one Saturday. There goes number 7. We need to get out earlier for the garage sales, and but we do plenty of thrifting together. And we were in Denver and then in Idaho Springs and
Falls.
Idaho Falls, yes. And that's one thing. When you resell, there's always, no matter where you go, there's always something to do. And that's looking for the good finds.
Absolutely.
Somebody's asked me, do I wear clothes that Tanya's thrifted?
Right, that was Lonnie.
I have in the past, and not in a while, but there's some nice stuff out there. I mean, that's why people buy it. I mean, so,
Yeah.
but at work. Most of the time at work, I'm wearing the same kind of general same outfit. So no, I don't really have a chance to wear that stuff anyway. So, but like I said, there's some real nice stuff out there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, all right, I guess we went over quite a bit. See, now the women, Tanya in there is complaining that Kurt's been on YouTube too long. So,
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I did not want to hear that.
So, I guess we will. Any last questions for these three before we get ready to bail out? I will do an after show. In case people want to come in and BS for a little bit longer.
Hold on.
But,
somebody wanted to see my tattoo. Can I show my tattoo?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I did see that.
Who was it?
Show your tattoo.
Something grub. I don't know.
All day deer grubber.
All day deer grubber. Deal grubber. Not
okay.
deer grubber.
Tongue twister.
Okay.
Just show your damn tattoo.
Okay. All right. This is my tattoo. This is what we've talked about insuring.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, now Heather, you can see it. This is awesome.
Yes, that's way cool.
So
it's a little steampunky going on there.
Yeah. So it needs a little bit more work to fill in, but
that's fantastic.
So there you go, deal grabber.
Somebody said when I said I wore clothes, somebody says used clothes are gross. I didn't say they were clothes.
Time out. Used clothes are not gross.
Wow, I don't want to go any further with that. That's scary.
Hey, you have to believe in what your wife sells. I mean, people ask you all the time. So, what do you, what does she sell? And I said, well, she sells this, so I believe in what she sells, so I support her. And
all right, so Tanya, I want to see the picture of Kurt in one of those hats that you have from the Derby, the green one.
Oh Jesus!
The green one. See, there you go, the green one.
That one's hideous.
Exactly.
That's the one. That's the one I like. Go. Oh my God! I can't believe she bought that one.
So,
bring her in a minute.
All right, guys. Well, we probably ought to sign off. These guys want to go to bed and stuff, and
no, they don't.
We've talked enough. So I did want to thank Kurt and Whitney and my wife very much for coming on. And this, I think, was a great show. We've had a lot of comments, and we had quite a few viewers. So good things. Oh, what was I going to say? Boy, that was just. Anyway, I'll put the link in the chat. And if you guys want to come in and talk, we can for a little bit. And again, thanks for the support. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, see ya.
We'll have to do it again. Thank you.
Hashtag free Whitney.